So I'm Ryan, otherwise known as the man in his music, and I'm back for another video after a very, very long hiatus of posting. I think my last post was about 4 or 5 months ago, and along with not posting on YouTube, I haven't been posting on Instagram either, so gonna get back into it. I really enjoyed making videos and everything, but I think I was just so caught up in life the past couple months, so and record buying that I just didn't really feel like making a video, I guess. So just gonna get back into it. And today I've got 12 records here along with something extra to hint at a future video. But I got 12 records that I just think are my best finds of the year. Not by price or rarity, but just things that I've enjoyed, things that they stuck out to me compared to some of the other things that I picked up throughout the year. So I'm just going to get straight into it with Curtis Fuller Soul Trombone number 12, and this is also A13, mono A13, original mono pressing, no suffix or anything. And it's got a sample stamp, which I wouldn't attribute to this being a promo copy because of that, but I got this off of an eBay seller. He posted it for $100 even, free shipping and everything, and the description was just VG plus jacket, VG plus vinyl, and nothing else. So I didn't ask any questions or anything. I just jumped on it, got it, near mint vinyl, VG plus jacket, and it turned out to be a sample copy. So just very happy with this. I was streaming this a lot in the beginning of the year. There's a lot of addicting tracks on here, all-star lineup to go along with that. So I hope this gets an acoustic sounds pressing. If not, I have this, but I'd love to hear it in stereo. Mono is really good, but I think after hearing it in mono on vinyl, I've kind of changed my mind on what I'd like to hear it on, so I'd probably like to hear it in stereo. And then number 11 is going to be the Clifford Brown Memorial album, and this is legendary in its own right despite it being a compilation. It compiles 2 of Clifford Brown's 10 inches, one that he did with Lou Donaldson, and then the other one which was his debut for Blue Note, New Star on the Horizon. And I wasn't really streaming this because I kind of wanted the surprise aspect of getting it on vinyl and listening to this for the first time. I mean, I didn't listen to it for the first time on vinyl, but I did listen to a lot of these tracks more so than I did streaming them, so very, very happy with this. It's not a first pressing, I think it's like a 3rd or 4th pressing. There's so many different variations of this this album because there was the Lexington label, both sides, Deep Groove, Plastilite P, and then had the white stripe on the bottom as compared to the aqua or blue stripe on the bottom. So it's just kind of weird the route they took with this. I know there's a lot of there's some stereo Liberty copies out there too, but I really wanted an early mono copy, and I got this off of a Discogs seller for $130, and he graded it as VG plus, VG plus. I think the jacket was actually VG, but the vinyl turned out to be near mint, and I got it from somebody overseas, so I was just really happy with this. Definitely one that I've played a lot. So then number 10, Ronan Monker III Evolution. I had to get this. This was something that was really high on my want list in the beginning of the year, especially because it had Lee Morgan on it. I've been on a huge Lee Morgan kick. It's not a couple month thing or anything like that. It's been probably the past 2 years that I've been just so addicted to Lee Morgan's playing. I really think he's probably my favorite trumpet player, but there's so many others out there that just rival him. It's so hard to pick a favorite, but I love this album. It's not necessarily free. It's getting there, but that's because Ronan Monker III was really the innovator when it came to free jazz, in my opinion. I think this was 1963. 4153, I'd say 1963 or somewhere around there. Maybe 1962 when it was recorded, released in 1963 maybe. But I got original jacket, and then 2nd or 3rd press, it's a Liberty copy, so very happy with this. It's like a VG to VG plus copy, so. And I'd like to get the Classic Series. I may end up parting with this one just because I feel like this is an album you need to hear in near mint condition or mint condition, you know. This is, like I said, this is VG to VG plus, so there's some crackle in there on occasion. So I'm gonna definitely pick up the classic series when I can. So then here's number 9, Alice Coltrane, Journey in Satchlandia. And you know, I may not be pronouncing that right, but some of these albums I just cannot pronounce for the life of me, and that's because nobody around me, nobody that I talk to in person really likes this type of stuff. So it's really just me texting my friends on Instagram or something about these type of records. Like, you know, you got Alice Coltrane, Ta, the El Dowd. I think I'm pronouncing that one right. That was really high on my want list, but I ended up getting a reissue of that on the Verve Request series. So got that, and then I got an original pressing of Journey in Satchlandia, separate ABC Impulse. Very, very happy with this. I think I paid $110 for this, or somewhere around there, and I think it's VG plus. It may be excellent, actually. Yeah, it's on the side of excellent to near mint. So I was just really happy with this. I do have a reissue of it. Here's the reissue I got last year, or 2019, somewhere around there. Maybe 2020, but I don't know why I said last year, but Journey in Satchlandia, and this pressing, you know, it didn't sound the greatest after I compared it, but for some reason this is expensive on Discogs. I mean, I think there's only 3 for sale, and I've seen them go for like $60, $70, $80, which doesn't make any sense to me because it's on that like 90s Impulse reissue label. And this is really early 2000s too as well, but Coltrane, John Coltrane had a lot of reissues in the 90s with this label. So I think this is just a reissue or a repress from the 90s, but I'm not entirely sure. Just really surprised with vinyl prices on reissues, like Liberty copies too. I mean, I've been seeing some crazy prices. I seen I think Ronan Monker III, some other thing, I think that's what it's called. I think I seen it go for like $180 today, and it's a Liberty copy. So, you know, I'm just not surprised anymore with how crazy it's gotten. But anyway, here's my next one, Joe Henderson in Japan. This is not something that I've played a lot throughout the year, but it's something I really wanted early on, and probably mostly because Round Midnight, probably my favorite version of that, my favorite cover. And, you know, it's in Japan, so I mean, that's the joke that goes around, I guess. It makes an album better if it's in Japan, but I just really like I like the sound on here. I like you know, it was a different lineup because Joe Henderson's playing with some famous players over in Japan. I can't recall their names off the bat, but I just really like this album. And like I said, mostly for Round Midnight. There's an original pressing of this. I think it's on, they call it says it's on RCA over in Japan, but I don't know how that would be. I mean, I guess so, but this is like a second pressing, I guess, or a first US pressing on Milestone, and then the real first pressing would be on Victor in Japan. So I wanted that, but then I kind of came to terms with the fact that I couldn't get that because there's none going up for sale on Discogs or eBay really at all, so I just settled for the Milestone copy. So then here's my next record, Mal 3 Sounds. This is something that it was kind of unexpected that I got it, because when it came to Mal Waldron, I wanted Mal 2 and Mal 1, just because the players on there, you had Idris Sullivan on both 1 and 2, and you had Coltrane and Jackie McLean on 2. You know, those first 2 are my favorite, but I ended up getting 3, which really surprised me because this is not on Spotify. I didn't really play it on YouTube or anything. Like I said, it was kind of a blind buy. It kind of surprised me because the type of music on here, I wouldn't say it's far out, but for the year 1958, or 1957, I think it's 1958 because I think that's when they transitioned to new jazz. But this was actually the record that they transitioned to new jazz with. It was originally released on the Fireworks label, and then they came out with a second pressing, or a true, I mean, I wouldn't say true first pressing, this is the true first pressing, but a first pressing on new jazz of Mal 3. So, got this. It's not in great condition, I'll admit. It's like G plus to VG, mostly G plus at times, but just really surprised me the type of songs on here. There's a vocal on here too, and I think it's actually Mal Waldron's wife. Yeah, Elaine Waldron. It may be someone in his family, I'm not sure, but it really surprised me. Really glad I picked this up and decided to get it. I mean, it was only 60 bucks, so I cannot complain. Just really enjoyed this, hearing it for the first time and everything. So then here's my next one, Sonny Rollins +4. I was really ready to settle on a reissue of this, but I was patient enough. I got a G plus to VG copy. It sounds amazing despite what it looks like. It's just very, very good stuff here. It's kind of, I'll say more on the, I don't know, it seems like they're playing around on this album more so compared to something like Elegant or anything like that. But it seems like they're just, you know, they're having fun on this record, which, you know, it's great, but I don't always play it for that. I think I just want to hear more in-depth stuff, more complex stuff. I hate to say that, but there's just a few tracks on here. I think it may be Pent Up House and then I Feel a Song coming on. They're great tracks, but I think it's mostly depends on my mood for when I need to put this on. I think Valse Hot is another song that I just, like, I like these songs. I really enjoy them, but I have to be in the mood to play this record. Not really sure why. May not be explaining it the best way, but I love this record, but I just don't play it as much as I probably should. Original pressing. Like I said, I got really lucky with this on an auction. The seller I got it from did not really sell vinyl or anything like that, so I kind of was taking a chance, and I think I spent like 120 bucks, and I think it was worth it in terms of what I got from that. So, and here's my next one, Tanganyika Strut. This is just something. The 3 Wilbur Harden albums on Savoy were really number 1, 2, 3 for me on my want list. This was actually number 2 or 3. Most people would rank this higher than the other albums like Jazz Way Out, but I think this is better than most things that came out on Savoy, but I think this is in the last of the 3, so I'm really happy with it. I mean, it made the list for me. You have Tommy Flanagan, Curtis Fuller, John Coltrane, Wilbur Harden, Allie Jackson, and Art Taylor, and Howard Williams too, who I'm not familiar with, but strictly Hetty's. I did not get this from him, but I got the other 2 from him, but I lost his auction for Tanganyika Strut, so I was just kind of, you know, I had my eyes out after I lost that auction, and I got a VG Plus copy. It has rotational ticks for about 2 or 3 rotations, but you know, you cannot complain when you get something like this, and I was just really happy to get this. Like I said with Evolution, that wasn't too far out. This is also not too far out, but it's definitely pushing the stage. Like I said in my video where I was talking about this, it's definitely pushing the stage of what was going on at the time, along with the other 2 albums. Probably not mainstream 1958, but definitely Jazz Way Out. I mean, it's called Jazz Way Out, and I think in the liner notes they refer to it being like a different type of sound and stuff for the year. So really happy with Tanganyika Strut. And then my next one is Blue Train. I really surprised myself the fact that I got this, because I went up to, I'll say my local shop, because my local shops are about an hour away. So this was right before I got COVID earlier this year. I went up with my cousin and my friend Seth, and they had this on their Instagram page, and it lasted in the shop for about 24 hours until I came and got it. It's not in great condition. It plays amazing, but it's probably like G plus. Yeah, I'd say G plus for sure. On some spots it looks like it's G, but it plays G plus to VG at times. You know, Blue Train, the music here overpowers the ticks and pops and everything, so I was really happy to just get something, I'll say, on the cheaper side of what I've seen Blue Train go for, you know, in terms of early pressings. I paid $100 for this. It's not pretty, but it was on my want list, and Coltrane is something that he's somebody that I try and go true to when it comes to first pressings, getting everything in his discography, and I'm coming close. I got a little bit about like that. I probably got six to 10 more releases. I have 235 total releases of Coltrane in my collection, including CDs. So, I've kind of been going hard on Coltrane the past couple months, and that's what I've been focusing on. So, I want to do a video going through his discography, and I'm definitely going to get to that here soon. So, this is something I really wanted, really glad I could cross it off my list. And it's actually, both sides have the R, the copyright R, P and everything, Plastilite P, Deep Groove 47 West 63rd press on both sides. So just really happy with that. I was really lucky to go up there and it was still there and everything. So then my next one, not necessarily a jazz album. Well, I'd probably consider it a jazz album just because of Johnny Mercer's influences, just with what he was growing up around and everything. But some people would probably attribute this to a pop album, but I think it's both pop, jazz, really soul at times, because Johnny Mercer's voice is just, it's right there. I mean, he doesn't have the perfect voice in terms of like, vocal singers of that time, like maybe Frank Sinatra, or, even later on like Etta James or something, but this is just crazy. I mean, Johnny Mercer, perfect songwriter, perfect singer in my opinion. I know some people might not agree with me, but I just love his stuff, and I've really been getting into him. I've always listened to Johnny Mercer, but it was really just the popular songs like Personality or Accentuate the Positive, but I really got into him within the past 5 or so months, so I've been trying to get some of his stuff too, because most people, they think this is the only Johnny Mercer album out there, but there's a lot more stuff out there, whether it's on compilations of 78 RPM stuff compiled together, but then there's also some other stuff that were released in Canada and the UK. So I've been trying to get some stuff, some other Johnny Mercer material. But this has got some amazing songs, 10 out of 10 songs. Personality, Alexander's Ragtime Band, Sugar Blues, I Lost My Sugar in Salt Lake City, Candy, Strip Polka, which was the first song that he recorded for Capitol. I'd like to go for some of his 78s, and he had a lot of early 78s in the 30s and stuff like that, but those are probably unobtainable, so I'm probably going to go for his 78 discography on Capitol and try and complete that. So I don't have too many 78s, but Johnny Mercer is somebody who's making me want to start collecting 78s. So really happy with this. I got this off of a Discog seller, $40 with shipping and everything, and he had it graded VG plus. And I accidentally bought this. I had this in my cart, but I meant to buy something else, and I accidentally clicked purchase on this or place order, and I was like tempted to tell him like I wasn't ready to purchase it and everything, but I just decided to go along with it because I was ready to get this album in my collection, although I did it by accident. So really happy with this. Near mint vinyl, VG plus jacket. I may end up getting another copy just because that's an amazing record, and I play it probably not every day, but when I do play it, I'll replay it again, so it'll probably be like 2 times a day that I play that record. Amazing stuff. So then I got 2 records here. I'm probably going to put this at number 2. Jazz Way Out, like I said with the other one, Tanganyika Strut. This was probably number 2 on my want list in terms of Coltrane, and I was really happy to get this from Strictly Headies. Perfect seller on eBay. His communication is great. He's got a lot of great stuff, and I like to get a record like this from a trusted seller, somebody who knows what they're talking about when it comes to grading, price point, everything. Even though I won this on an auction, but just really happy with this. Wilbur Harden again, John Coltrane, Curtis Fuller, Tommy Flanagan, Allie Jackson, and then Art Taylor. So, really an all-star lineup. And this has been creeping up in prices. Probably not as much as Tanganyika Strut, but in my opinion, Jazz Way Out is my favorite. So I was glad to get this before it really jumped up in price. Original pressing again. All three were original pressing. Really, really thankful to get them, for the opportunity to win them finally, because I lost plenty of these on auction along with the next record I got here. So just really, really good stuff here. Most records I just have in regular sleeves, but I got this in one of those, the tape sleeves. So then my last record here is something I probably lost 5 or so auctions on. I think one night I was driving home from work, and this was going off at like 10 or something, or maybe I think it was like 11 or somewhere around there. And I stopped at the gas station to place my bid, because on the road that I was on, it was just a bunch of cops all the time. That road's known for having cops. So I had to pull into the gas station and bid on this record, and I lost it. I think I bid like $300 and some or something like that, and I lost it. I think it was like $366 or something, and I lost it. So then I got this not a couple months later, probably like 6 or 7 months later, and I was just really, really like surprised that I could even touch this, because in terms of things that I've gotten throughout collecting, this is number one. Clifford Brown, Portrait of Clifford. This was recorded at a Clifford Brown Jazz Festival, and although it's not Clifford Brown music on here, I mean it is at the end, but most of this is by the Black Star Ensemble, who I'm not familiar with, but just great stuff here, spiritual stuff. Seems like it would be on Black Jazz Records on that label, but really, really good stuff here. Marcus Belgrave is on trumpet here, and out of all the names here, he's the one that stuck out with me. So Marcus Belgrave on trumpet, and he wrote most of these compositions on here. So they're great stuff. It's very chilling. I can't really say any more to this. Just really happy I could get this, and for the main reason was because Orthonology by Charlie Parker, but recorded by Clifford Brown when he was 18 years old, 17 or 18, was recorded by his teacher, Robert Lowery. So, I just was really happy that I could get this, especially for the fact that I live in Delaware, and this is just something special to me because of that. It was recorded in Delaware, and it was also, this copy came from the Newcastle County, Delaware Department of Libraries, Concord Pike. So just really happy to get this, and it's kind of surprised me too, because the vinyl is near mint all around, jacket's near mint and everything. So you would have thought that this would have got some playtime on somebody's table, but it never did. So at least from the looks of it. So I was just really happy to get this, and I cried when I put this on and heard Orthonology for the first time, and I just number one find for me, really. I may not look too ecstatic that I have it, but just an amazing record. Like I said, not for most of these songs. Most of these songs are good, but just for the main fact that Clifford Brown's first recording is on here, recorded by his teacher, Robert Lowery, and it doesn't get any better than that. And although it came off of an acetate, and it's got some crackle and hiss and pops and stuff, it's still amazing. It's still amazing to have. Amazing piece of history. I don't know where that acetate is, but just glad I could get something like this. So in the beginning of the video, I also said I had something extra to put in, so then here's the extra thing that I had to put in. I just had to include this. This is my number one CD find of the year. Unreleased, live at Birdland, 1963. The John Coltrane Quartet. It says Lost Train, Birdland. This is an unofficial release on All Blues Records. Came out in 2008. And, while this came out in 2008, it also didn't make the John Coltrane reference guide, which surprised me, because you know, everything's in the John Coltrane reference guide. I mean, not everything, but quite a bit is in the John Coltrane reference guide. So this says it was recorded in Birdland, New York, October 10th, 1963, but it wasn't. It was actually recorded the 8th, which is the same day that Live at Birdland was recorded, this record right here. So this goes along with this record. It has unreleased takes, unreleased music from the same set. So I mean, I was really happy to get this. This was kind of a rumor that I heard about, and I purchased it from, I forget the website it was, but it was a really sketchy website, and came over here from Japan, although I didn't know where it was coming from really, but it came over here from Japan, and like I said, it says October 10th, but it's really October 8th, the same day that the Live at Birdland was recorded, which is my favorite Coltrane record of all time, really favorite record of all time, favorite album of all time, put vinyl aside and everything. So I was just really happy to get this. But the reason that I found out that it was actually recorded on the 8th is because when you take the original track listings that are listed on the, you know, the personnel and the track listings on in the book, and match the times up, they're really similar on all three tracks. You have Training In on here, you have Mr. PC, and then you have Lonnie's Lament. This is just probably, this may be the rarest Coltrane CD out there. I think there's only 2 people who have it on Discogs, me and then some other guy who made the thing. So I think he was like the contributor. So just really happy to get this. It sent chills down my spine when I put this in my player and heard it for the first time. I mean, this completes everything for me. Although not my entire Coltrane collection, because I still have a few more things to get. But, you know, I got my shelf full, and I got my CD racks full too. So this was just number 1 for me in terms of the CDs that I've gotten this year. So besides all that, that was all my favorite stuff that I've gotten throughout the year. And then to go along with this video, I'm going to do a recent jazz vinyl finds too, because, you know, I got so much stuff that I've gotten within the past 4 or 5 months. So, you know, if you're watching this and, you know, you were wishing that you were wondering where I was at, I was just, I guess, stuck into records and stuck into life and just caught up with everything. So I kind of just wanted to make another video, talk about music again. So appreciate everybody for watching, and for the support too, because I still see some of the comments popping up too. I haven't been good at replying to them, so I'll definitely be on top of that too, because I love talking to people about jazz and music and everything. So thank you.